Today, I'm curating. I'm going to attempt a project that I've been putting off for a while. Not because I don't want to do it, but because life. Welcome back to another video. I'm Taylor. I'm a former teacher turned STEM curriculum developer. I do YouTube in my spare time and I read about, talk, and reflect a lot on art, faith, and life, and I share about that here on my channel, so be sure to subscribe if you want to stick around for some creative content. Today, I'm going to try to turn my modest pin collection into an art piece. So within the last year, I reread The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and if you do a search on YouTube, you're going to find a bunch of videos referencing that book. It really is so inspiring. It really does help you connect with your more spiritual, creative self. I get revived every time I read that book and do the practices in it. It's just so helpful. Basically, The Artist's Way got me thinking about how collecting and curating can be kind of a creative expression. I find that I'm fairly minimal but pretty particular with the things that I collect, and I actually really enjoy collecting enamel pins. They're pretty easy to come by and they're a fun form of self-expression. If you go to any event, you're probably going to find a pin to commemorate that event. If I want to splurge, I'll hop on Etsy and I'll look through all the different creative ideas for enamel pins and support a small shop that way. They're also a fun gift idea if anyone wants to get me anything. Don't be fooled. Curating and collecting are not the same. Curating is a lot more intentional. It's a lot easier to collect than it is to curate, which is why a lot of people end up with a bunch of crap shoved in their closets and in their drawers. Here's the definition of curate. Select, organize, and present online content, merchandise, information, etc., typically using professional or expert knowledge. Ultimately though, I think it just means using intention and precision whenever you organize or display or present stuff. Currently, my enamel pins are displayed in this backpack. I got it off of Etsy. It worked for a while, but honestly, it feels kind of cheap. The pins fall off inside the backpack sometimes, and the plastic on the front gets scratched really easily. And people only see the pins when I use the backpack, and so I don't know, I just feel like I can do better. I've gotten a little bit of inspo from Pinterest. So my to-do list today is to hunt down the perfect vintage frame and get some corkboard and velvet. And then I'm gonna figure out how to curate my enamel pins in a way that makes sense. So here we go.
What did I come here for? Was it just to see through? Like a dusty window.
These are tables. That would actually be so cute if you had a bunch of little photos. I've heard the song Tiny Dancer 10 times in the last month. I mean, what if I had an enamel pin collection that was this big?
Yeah, one block over, turn right, and there it is.
Well, because I've lost you going down.
One block, turn left,
Why would I turn left?
because that's the way you're gonna go, crazy. It's not even possible to be alive and functioning. I mean, that's
Okay, I turn left.
Dude, she needs to chill.
one block.
They're still talking about directions. But that this would have worked kind of like a shadow box, but I have no idea how you get that out. It's not worth the work. You know, seeing that photo of Cary Grant just reminded me of how much time I spent growing up going to antique stores with my mom and my grandma. And I think one thing that I really enjoyed about going was that there's so many things in here that spark conversation, and I would learn so much about them because they would see something and it would remind them of something from their childhood. We're just talking throughout the whole store, and I don't know, I just enjoy that. Hey, it's Editing Taylor, and the whole reason I brought that up after seeing the Cary Grant photo was because my mom liked Cary Grant, and I never said that, so connecting the dots for you. He stumped me. I'm just gonna scratch that itch by doing it with a frame instead of tables because we don't have anywhere for the tables to go. I just assumed that I would be able to find somewhere, but there's not anywhere. Those are really cute. So that was not as successful as I was hoping. However, I did get a couple things that weren't even on the list, which that's just how it goes, right? Currently they're wrapped up in newspaper and I don't want to mess with it, but I am gonna go ahead and go to a craft store and see if I can find velvet and corkboard. I looked at all those frames and honestly, I do have a frame at home that I remembered whenever I was in the antique store. Currently it's not being used. I think I might just try my hand at a frame that I have at home and just see how it goes. Wish me luck. Off to the craft store. Michael's did not have what I was looking for. Why is Hobby Lobby just yellow? Finally, oh my gosh. I thought this was velvet. It's like animal fur. I think I like that better than velvet. I think I'm gonna rock with it. This person used cardboard. I'll grab foam just in case that's easier. I'm excited about this fur. I don't know if you can kind of see it. So I was almost 0 for 3, but Hobby Lobby came in clutch. We're gonna try. We got foam, that animal fur paper. I don't even know what you call it. That's that. I'm actually probably gonna wait till tomorrow to put together the enamel pin display. I just wanna like veg and hang out with my husband.
That's amazing.
So it's the next day and I worked this morning. Crashin and I had lunch. I took a shower because I really needed one. And now I'm ready to get back to work on this enamel pin project. So let's get it going. Okay, let's not. Let's say we did. This frame was actually the frame that Ashton gifted me that had the very first photo that we ever took together. I never thought that I would see again just because it was like a photographer at a wedding and he was like, hey, I want to test the lighting in here. Can I just shoot a real quick photo of you guys together? And we were like, yeah, sure. And after he did, I was like, I have no idea if we're going to see that photo. Well, like 6 months later, he gifted me that photo in this frame. He managed to track it down. I hope this is enough surface area, but if not, then we can upgrade. I think this was given to me by one of the librarians at the school that I worked at. It was like a Secret Santa thing. This was a Christmas present. I've always been a Tim Burton fan. This Edward Scissorhands was a no-brainer.
Darn this stuff!
Another Gremlins. This one I just found at a thrift store. It was like 25 cents. And I went to Canada last summer, which is where I picked this one up too. This is from Marine Lake, gorgeous. This pin is from the Neon Museum in Las Vegas. Half my family lived in Las Vegas at one point. I made them go to the Neon Museum. I thought it was really cool. This is Tim Burton. Some of my students thought that it was Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, but it is in fact not. This was actually created by K.R. Sexton, one of my favorite Etsy artists for a long time, and then she closed down her shop. I made Ashton go to a live recording of the Pod Meets World podcast. This is also from Las Vegas. This is the Mothership Coffee Roasters. I thrifted this Chicago Bulls pin. That was when the Dream Team was still together.
Welcome to the Space Jam!
This pin is of Coraline. A lot of people growing up said that this movie freaked them out, but I in fact loved it because I was a creep. This is Jake from Adventure Time. It's just cute. I got this pin at one of the farmers markets here in town. I was just supporting a small artist. This is Squid. Look at him, he's so cute. I followed him on Instagram for the longest time. Look, there he is. This is from a local coffee shop. Like I said, grew up loving Tim Burton. I think my mom got me this pen. The school I taught at for a long time won a National Blue Ribbon Award, and so this pen is from that. Now for the part that you've all been waiting for, that I've been waiting for the curation. So I don't have a lot of pens, so this is gonna be either really easy or really hard. So from a design perspective, I feel like the big one should go first and then build around it. So let's get to it. I love that space right there. Give me a second and I'm gonna figure this out. Here is the reveal. It fits perfectly. It's been a while since I've done a project like that, like any kind of crafting or putting together stuff, and so I feel like life's just been so busy lately, moving from project to project, or even just like consumed with house projects over the last couple of years. So it was nice to like make something like for me that was all about my specific interests, and so yeah, it just felt good to create. And not just create, but to curate and to be very intentional about how I'm doing something. Like I said before, it's one thing to like collect stuff, it's another thing to actually curate and to display it. I want to do more of that. I think that you don't even have to go out and collect a bunch of stuff, like just take a look around at what you already have and curate that. You can curate a bookshelf, a playlist, a mindset, even a moment, putting in a little extra effort to give intention to something that you've been passing over time and time again. Just making it vibey or making it more meaningful to you. I've got more content coming soon, so be sure to subscribe. I would hate for you to be left out of that. And then take care, and I will see you in the next one. I think there's hair stuck to my lip.